What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports here on the Florida State channel at the Voice of College Football. We're going to look at some bowl projections for the Seminoles. Of course, great season for Florida State. Really turned things around this year, going 9-3, a chance to get to a 10th win with a bowl victory. And, you know, it was close to being a 10-2 season. If you look back at that NC State game, Florida State really should have won that game, and they'd be sitting there at 10-2. Not really a chance to go to a New Year's Six bowl. There was at one point some hope if Clemson were to make it to the college football playoff that Florida State could possibly get into the Orange Bowl. Obviously, Clemson's not going to go to the playoff, and so it's going to be the winner of Clemson, North Carolina going to the Orange Bowl, and then Florida State will go wherever they go. And there's no real pecking order with these bowl games, so it can be hard to project where these teams are going to go. It looks like the different projections out there are for two different bowl games for Florida State. I think there are 4 bowl games at play here. I think the Gator Bowl, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, and also the Holiday Bowl. Those are all bowls that they could possibly go to. And then the Cheez-It Bowl, which seems to be the more likely one. So let's look at some of the projections. CBS Sports, they've got Florida State going to the Duke's Mayo Bowl. This will be on December 30th. That'll be the Friday right there before New Year's at 12 o'clock Eastern time. So an early kick against Minnesota. So this is ACC versus Big Ten. That would be an interesting matchup there. I tell you what, I've looked at the different potential matchups for Florida State, and I really like their chances. I think as long as they don't have a ton of opt-outs or whatever, Florida State's going to be in really good shape to win their bowl game. I think they'd probably beat Minnesota. But you never know in these bowl games. You never know about teams' motivations. And again, players sitting out, all of that. It's really tough to predict these games. So Duke's Mayo Bowl is a projection here from CBS Sports. I actually don't think that's going to be the case, though. I just don't think that's where they're going to wind up. I think it's more likely that they will go to the Cheez-It Bowl playing there, which used to be the Citrus Bowl. So this is, again, you hear Cheez-It Bowl and you think about the Cheez-It Bowl used to be, one of the really lower tier bowls, but this is kind of in place of the Citrus Bowl this year. And so this is one that I think would be a pretty good bowl game for Florida State. You can see Texas Tech, possibly the opponent. 24/7 Sports and Athlon both projecting Florida State to go to the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. I guess this game will be on December 29th at 5:30 Eastern time. And I think this one and the Duke's Mayo Bowl both on ESPN. So those are your most likely slots. Again, Florida State versus Texas Tech here. I saw another projection. I think it was The Athletic. Had them going to the Cheez-It Bowl and taking on Oklahoma. So that would be a nice matchup of two traditional powers there, Florida State versus Oklahoma. Texas Tech's a sneaky good team, though. I think this would actually be a tougher test than that Minnesota game if they were to play them. Texas Tech, they're a pretty good football team. This would be a good matchup here. I do think Florida State, I like their chances. The Gator Bowl, I talked about that one. That one may be an option. It seems like everyone's putting Notre Dame into the Gator Bowl. Again, I don't know the pecking order here. I don't think there really is anything. Would Florida State fans really want to go to a bowl game, though, called the Gator Bowl? I wonder about that. But if they do go to the Gator Bowl, which is I think where you'd want to go, you're going to get an SEC opponent. Can you imagine this? Florida State potentially knocking off 3 SEC teams in the same season. Mississippi State's a team that I've seen projected to go to the Gator Bowl. So that's one that I think Florida State fans should want to go to. You play in Jacksonville. It's very close. Again, knocking off a 3rd SEC team would be big. And then the other one that I think could be an option would be the Holiday Bowl, which you're going to have to go out west for that one and play a Pac-12 team. That's a fairly big bowl game there. And they could possibly play a team like UCLA, maybe Oregon, Utah. That would be probably their toughest matchup. If they go to the Holiday Bowl, that would probably be the best game on the field. Because I think they really have a good shot if they're in any of these other 3 bowl games. But the Cheez-It Bowl seems to be the most likely. And again, playing Texas Tech, we'll see how it plays out. Where do you want to see this team go bowling? Give me your thoughts down in the comments below.